Back in the game and well at the top, a king of the ring and calling my spots. I'm raising the bar to crank it a notch. I'm full of mistakes, cause life is a botch. Life can get brighter and brighter. I walk through that curtain, my levels get higher and higher. Studied the best, in this generation I'm next. Super kid party, no doubt we just hit a suplex. Hooker by crook, survive if I let you, they stand to their feet. Sports
What's going on, everybody? Fresh out the box. Stop, look and watch. Have you checked your watch? Because that means that life's a botch. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Hi-Lite. Don't forget the real in the building with Life's a Botch. Now I'm joined by a very special guest because unfortunately, fellas, unfortunately, ladies, my homegirl Ash Benny could not make it on today's episode. She has some matters to attend to. We wish her well on today and this week. Much love to you, Ash Benny. We'll see her next week, y'all. Don't worry. She will be back. She sends my love to y'all because she really, really wanted to talk some Vengeance Day. There was so much to talk about, wrestling-wise this week. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pivot a bit, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry, we're gonna still talk some stuff, you know what I mean? But I got a special guest, so I gotta be a little limited with the conversation on today, but in a good way, because this is my brother, and it's not often me and him. We haven't really potted in a while together, so I'm really actually excited having him on this show specifically because it's been since like maybe the early days of Life's a Botch, bro.
Probably the pandemic was the last time I got on.
Yeah, wow,
because I think it was when I think it was when Edge came back.
Yeah, it had to be, bro. Oh my goodness, yo, man, look. Yeah. Talk about growth, bro. Wow, look how far we've come since that first initial time of the pandemic years, bro. That's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so in case you're wondering, well, he sounds familiar, he looks familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on who this is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one, the only, the maestro behind Life's a Botch, behind the brand that uplifts Life's a Botch. Y'all might have heard me talk about it a lot when I close out the show, when I tell y'all where to find and follow me and this brand. I tell y'all to follow the brand behind the brand, because we wouldn't have this brand if it wasn't for the man behind this brand. I'm talking about OTS Media co-CEO, founder, creator, Podfather, as we call him in the OTS world, because he is generally the Podfather. The man with the plan. Let's see if I can remember that intro. It's been a minute. The man with the plan. He is the Podfather, the most hardest working man in show business, and of course, your anti-cowboy loving, 100% Celtic green pride wearing, none other than my man, my brother from another, Mr. Derrick Myers. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be back, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Good to have you back, man. Sir. Look, I know you've been a busy man, because we know you've been doing every other thing from pre-production stuff with OTS, not to mention running things like the Dope Show. Shout out to my boy Chris Negron and Sideline Guys. Shout out literally the Realish and my boy Matt and Chris Negron and so many other people on this dope team that we have, man. But it's good. It's really great to have you back on Life's a Botch, man. Like I said, it's been a minute, my guy. Things have changed a bit since the last time we had, we got formats now, you know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of growing in what we do. So we got segments and fun stuff that's going to get you involved, man. So let's go ahead and just get it underway, man. Now, to those who don't know, my brother Derrick is what you would call a casual professional wrestling fan these days. Me and Josh, shout out to my boy Gresh Unleashed. We've been doing better getting my guy reacclimated into the pro wrestling universe. We told him, hey man, it's not what it used to be anymore. It's getting better now. Triple H has been taking over and doing wonders. It's not perfect, but he definitely makes it a lot more enjoyable than it used to be. It's not outdated anymore, right? And it's fun to watch. AEW has helped with that because they have made them raise their competition up, since they have an actual competitor on their level to some degree, not from a business standpoint, but just from a watcher's standpoint and money-wise. they have a competitor in a sense. So yeah, man, this is what made us basically get with my guy and say we got to get you back into this thing. So how we do things right here, Derrick, I'm gonna introduce you to our first segment, inspired by none other than the man we will be talking about himself, The Rock himself inspired this, and it's called What's Cooking. Now, what is What's Cooking? Listeners, y'all already know what it is. Y'all know what's cooking. What's cooking involves none other than basically just a bevy of topics. It could be wrestling related, it could be non-wrestling related. It's basically just trending headlines out there, man. Just things that are going on in the world that we really don't realize what's going on. We just kind of like, wow, this is taking over the internet sensation right now. So like I said, this can be wrestling related, it can be non-wrestling related. It's just, or it's even just what's on your mind right now. Literally, what is on your mind? So Derrick, good sir, in What's Cooking, I would like to bring the flow to you as the guest and ask you, man, what's cooking in your universe right now? What you want to talk about, my guy?
Man, actually, interesting enough, before getting on, they're bringing that back from the Netflix series. I'm actually rewatching it,
Yes.
to remember, all the things that took place during that series, so that I could, once this comes back, it'd be good to go with it. So I'm
Come
rewatching it,
on.
and also, what's his name, Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us, that played
Ooh.
oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Oh my god, he was in The Last of Us. Oh, the Mandalorian,
Yes.
for others that don't know The Last of Us. He's supposed to be in the Fantastic Four. Right
Ooh.
now, don't know which role he's going to be playing. I'm praying to God it's not Reed, Dr. Reed. I really want John Krasinski to play him. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I think we're gonna be seeing Doctor Doom come into the MCU pretty soon. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, I think, right now I'm geared up in the whole Marvel universe right now, just because this is make or break for me with them.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't get their act together, I'm done. It's actually
Come on.
similar to how I was with WWE, once CM Punk
Ooh. Okay.
left. Yeah, I think,
Okay.
if you don't get your act together, I'm not watching anymore.
Man, that on the independent spotlight that we'll be releasing next week. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. But we were actually, that was one of the questions we asked him. Like, how would you
Hmm.
fix the Marvel cinematic universe right now? And to his response, it was more so, talking about Doctor Doom. It
Yeah.
seemed like Doctor Doom should be the one to replace Kane because you need a Doctor Doom level threat. Not quite Galactus, although I would have said Galactus, but like you said, only thing about Galactus, if you're gonna go with him, some ish gonna go down.
That's the
And
end
you're
of
gonna have to
that.
really call all the big guns for that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
Doctor Doom seems like a nice solution, but what are your ideas on that, bro? What do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Doom makes sense. I think, at this point, what Marvel really needs to do is stop, because their issue was that they were basing everything they were doing on their
Mm-hmm.
previous success. Had nothing to do with anything else outside of what they had already done. So it's kind of like
Mm.
Vince McMahon living on the whole Attitude Era, right?
Ooh, yeah.
That's how they did everything with this last phase. So it's like every show, like She-Hulk. I know my uncle, he absolutely loved She-Hulk. I I didn't like it. There was nothing about it that made me want more of She-Hulk. And they've already come out and said that She-Hulk is likely not going to have another season, because
Oh,
they
dang.
didn't do anything with it. Like, the character herself, like, I like her character, but
Mhm.
there was no development. There was nothing within that story that made me say, we need more, or I want to see more of her in the MCU again. and that felt like they kind of botched that whole series. You know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing that made sense to me with it. I think this whole MCU was this whole phase. I haven't watched the Marvels yet. I'm waiting until it comes out on Disney Plus. Comes out on the 17th, I believe.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I was not paying any money for that. But
I don't
aside
blame you,
from
bro.
that, I've watched everything for this phase, and it just there's a couple of things that were like promising. Like Miss Marvel, loved it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi, that was another one that
Mm.
was pretty good.
Okay.
But I don't think that there was anything in this phase that was like you have to. Oh, I'm sorry. The last Spider-Man, that was good too. That was good too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing in there that was just like, this is like you're gonna rewatch it, and that's another thing how I base all of these projects is how what's the value on it in terms of me rewatching it. Am I gonna want to spend my time to watch this again? Likely no. This whole phase can pretty much get sucked down the toilet. I really don't care about it. So yeah, Doctor Doom makes complete sense to reset, but I actually don't
Mm-hmm.
think Kang the Conqueror was the reason for this phase being horrible. Jonathan Majors, if we're going to be completely honest, Jonathan Majors was one of the bright spots of this phase.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't horrible at all. He did his job. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He was what
Yeah.
made Quantumanium bearable. Like,
Decent.
yeah,
Oh
like
well. Yeah.
it, yeah, Quantumanium wasn't a good movie. He was just the best part of it, right? Like his
Mm-hmm.
character was really good. Loki season 2, I know a lot of people loved it. I was confused. I really don't know where we were going with it. Like
Yeah.
visually it was appealing, but where are we
Yeah. That
going
was
with
that
it?
was
That's my point.
season one. Loki felt better. I mean, I will say the season finale of season two definitely gave a vibe where it was like
Mm,
Loki's on a whole different power level now. It was like,
right,
oh, yeah, he makes Thor look like a chump now. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like with
So
what he can
again, what are we
do.
doing with that? Like, is there gonna
Yeah.
be a face off? I know Tom Hiddleston already, is pretty much done with the character. So is Loki coming back? Are we gonna
Yikes.
have a different version of Loki? You know what I'm saying? Like, is
Mm-hmm.
someone else gonna pick up the character? So I'm kind of like I'm wondering what's going to happen in this next phase. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool, that's gonna be a great movie. So Deadpool and Daredevil to me are already the only ones that I'm looking at right now that's like, okay, you have the foundation set. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So you have to bring Doctor Doom in, and you have to bring the X-Men in.
Yes.
That's the only
Yes.
way you really
Definitely the
reset.
X-Men.
Because
I
I think
100% agree.
their problem is that they're trying to bring back the glory days with like the Avengers. The
Mm-hmm.
X-Men can be your new Avengers.
Mm-hmm. They
What are we
can.
talking about here?
Yeah, it's I've been waiting on the X-Men to get justice since really the first movie, to be
Yeah,
honest, man. Because
it was because they weren't
um
good. They
they
weren't
weren't
good.
like as a kid from a nostalgic standpoint. Well,
Mm-hmm.
nah, who am I kidding? I kind of remember hating it even as a kid, but at the same time, I still just appreciated it because it was on live screen, like live
Yeah,
action, right?
yeah.
So for that to see actual claws coming out of Wolverine was like, man, that's what that looks like in
Mm-hmm.
real life. Like, cool. You know, as a kid, you always,
Yeah,
man, what would that look like in
yeah,
real time, right?
yeah.
So to see that kind of stuff was cool. Seeing, you know, well, nah, Beast. I won't say Beast. I'll say Nightcrawler in X2. You know, seeing
Mm-hmm.
that, even though it was a disappointment of what they did with him, to see the
Yeah.
teleportation of him, you know, all of that kind of stuff, how they made him creepy, yet he was totally a nice dude because he's a nice guy. He just comes off creepy
Mm-hmm.
because he hides in the shadows. Like
Yeah.
all those things made me say, yeah, I love what they were trying to do, but I hated it at the same time because it just didn't
Yeah.
add up. You
It
know,
didn't add up.
yeah, it didn't. So
Yeah.
that's good insight, bro. I like that. I like that.
yeah. And
So,
I need them to address the Mahershala Ali situation too, because he's playing
oh
Blade.
yeah, Blade. Yeah,
And when you
yeah.
brought in the Netflix canon, he was already in that as a different character. So it's kind of like I need to know
Mm.
what the I have trust issues with the MCU, and I didn't think I was going to have
You know
that.
whoever did. I mean, it was one thing we already knew not to trust DC because they let us
No,
down
no,
a
no.
long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
But yet,
yeah,
for Marvel to do this was like, dang, bro, you had it, the perfect
yeah,
recipe, and you let it
yeah.
slip. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess to be fair, we can somewhat maybe blame the pandemic, but nah, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't even
Maybe
blame the
the death.
pandemic, man. I don't even blame the pandemic. It's just they got lazy. When you get lazy, it's like in a relationship, right? Like when you're in a relationship, and one party just takes the other party for granted and just gets lazy and just doesn't care about what happens anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing a sweet talking thing anymore. You're not like trying to woo this person. You're not going out on dates and stuff like that. You just take them for granted, right? So you have the opportunity to get that love back, but you're on a short leash. You're on a short leash. If you're not doing the work, hmm, we might be
Mm-hmm.
breaking up, bro. Like
Yeah, no.
that's where I am with the MCU. So they have the opportunity. They have the opportunity to prove themselves. This is your first time. You've messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You messed up.
Mm-hmm.
You had the opportunity to win me back, but whisper some sweet nothings in my ear, man. Like let's what you got?
Yeah, what you
What
got?
you
I mean,
got?
bro, that's truth, man, and that's one of those things. We can definitely, we're gonna say that for a realish
Yeah,
conversation in a real in-depth situation because I don't want to bore you guys too deep, but we, like I said, that's what we do here on
yeah.
Life's About What's Cooking. We talk about non-wrestling related topics as we get into it, and MCU is one of those where you can go like super forever with all the
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
what y'all did here and there, and that's not even including the what if because I didn't even realize there was a season two and was like, oh crap,
bro. I've
I
only
didn't
watched
even know
one
that was out.
episode. I only watched one episode. I didn't know it was out, so I was like, "Oh, okay." And
Yeah,
I forgot to go back to
yeah.
it because I started watching Daredevil. So
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much. Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. We're gonna definitely get into that in the realist universe under the OTS network, man. So y'all, if y'all like
sure.
that little brief conversation for my Marvel lovers out there, my nerds out there, make sure you check out shameless plug. Make sure you check out Realish under the OTS Media Co umbrella, and believe you me, you can hear all movie conversations, film, TV, all that good stuff, including Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna talk about real quickly. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm not too familiar with this person's music. I do remember the name, but I just found out, or not just found out, like obviously I've known this since probably like maybe yesterday. But I wanna, on a serious note, send prayers, thoughts, and condolences to the family of Toby Keith, country music singer who passed away on, I believe yesterday it was, and
Whoa,
yeah,
Toby Keith passed away.
Toby Keith, yes sir, he passed away, man, passed
Oh
away.
snap!
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Sad day, and a lot of, and this in a sense is kind of wrestling related because to those who know about Toby Keith, he actually did quite a thing. He was a big wrestling fan. He did some stuff in TNA a little bit. Have a little situation with Jeff Jarrett, a little beef him and Jeff Jarrett
Yeah,
had,
yeah. I
in
remember
kayfabe,
that.
and I believe he might even did some things for WWE, I believe as well. But yeah, man, the wrestling world has been showing their love and condolences to the family of Toby Keith. So again, I didn't get a chance to really listen to this brother's music. I'm not the biggest country fan, even though I kind of get into it, but I do remember his name and I remember hearing him a lot. So, again, he was definitely one of those like mainstream country artist personalities. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Toby Keith. I hate that I can't name a song. Like I said, maybe I'm a lot more seasoned now with my open knowledge of music in terms of outside my basic genres that I prefer because I do listen to everything. So, country was just always kind of like on the bottom of that list over the years, but I've grown more accustomed to actually checking it out. And so I may go back and have to let y'all know next week what Toby Keith's songs that I've listened to from his library and be like, I actually like this song, man. I really like this. This spoke to me a little bit, this kind of thing. But another thing, apparently, brother, on a music related note, don't know if you heard or seen, but currently trending on Twitter right now, my guy Drake.
Bro.
Apparently, there's a leaked video going on of this guy. Can we talk about the fact that this man is darn near 40 and you doing some real 19, 20-year-old type stuff, bro?
That's Aubrey, bro. Like,
yeah.
That's Aubrey, why I keep calling him Aubrey. I don't even call him Drake anymore. I just call him Aubrey. I'm tired of him.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, my guy. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Shout out to the memes. And it's like one meme I keep seeing of all these angels looking on the outer skirts, talking about watching everybody watching this Drake video. And I'm like, man, it's only like 4 seconds, but like, hey, enough said, man.
What was the video you saw? Because I heard about him talking about Rihanna and
really?
the concert tour thing he's on with J. Cole. How they started playing Work, and like he cut it real quick and was like, I don't perform that anymore and stuff like that. And then he got real petty. He actually, I think on his last album he had a track that was talking about her too, and it's
see.
What did you see? Because that's what I saw yesterday.
That's what you saw yesterday. So apparently there seems to be this. There's this video recently of him apparently ejaculating as well. Yeah. Caught in 4K apparently. He's doing some very we're kind of a somewhat PG show to a degree, but he's doing some non-PG things. Let's just say for my real long wrestling fans out there, he's doing some Val Venus like things. I'll put it that way.
That's a name I haven't heard in years. Wow.
No, me either, bro. But still.
Wow.
Yeah, he's caught in 4K doing some business with himself, if you know what I mean. And
man.
Yeah, he's getting memes.
You know what?
Yeah.
At some point you gotta grow up, man. At some point. And I think age doesn't mean anything in terms of maturity level.
Facts.
This is a grown child at this point.
Oh yeah, a man child, if you will, right?
A man child. Yeah, I'm just that's disturbing. That's really disturbing.
It is, man. It's
never mind. I'm just not even gonna.
We'll save that for a fans conversation in the future. Is what it sounds like Derrick is saying, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he's telling me. He's like, yeah, we're gonna say that talk for fans.
That might be offense. It's okay.
Yeah, brother.
Do you think he's ruining his legacy in certain ways? Do you think we've gotten to that point yet?
Well, I'll say, when I remember when we brought up Drake here on Life's a Botch, I remember talking with Ashley, and Ashley said she's a recovering Aubrey or a recovering Drake fan because of the fact that she was like, as she's matured, he hasn't. So her music taste and what she was like the ultimate Drake super fan. And she's not the only one. It seems like a lot of those outside of maybe those in the OTS group chat that still seem to, swear everything Drake does is, explainable until it's not, and then you're like, they can't say anything. It's just like, I can't defend this. But yeah, I'm at this point, I just find myself listening to old Drake, and I keep it moving if I'm listening to any of his music, because I'm like, that's the Drake I grew up with, because I was at this level when that Drake was out. On the level I'm at now, I can't listen to a current Drake. It don't do it for me.
He's there's something it's something about, I think, certain celebrities, like when they reach a specific level, they just get extremely bored and have to do something that's just outrageous. Now, I want to put Kanye into that, but we saw Kanye like on the way up start like portraying these type of actions. So it's almost not even surprising that he's doing this. But you see, Nicki is doing certain things, and I like, I don't know. We got, you know what? It makes me start wondering, like, what's actually going on with that Young Money crew.
You know, it's almost as if we're gonna get some kind of documentary in the future about that, if you think about it.
Yeah, I wonder, because, you know, I mean, and I know Birdman, you know, isn't a part of Young Money, but this is a derivative. He was wilding out too.
Yeah, man. The only one you don't really see wild out like that is Wayne, because Wayne just seems to be on Wayne.
I mean, Wayne was just on lean, right? Like, he was on drugs, but like, outside of drugs, what are we talking about? You know, like,
pretty much.
Outside
that's
of that,
it. Yeah,
just a little
drugs and sports for Wayne. That's all he'll do. You give him drugs, you give him sports, and he's Wayne. He's in his
drugs, his ESPN, and a skateboard. He's perfectly fine. He doesn't mess with anybody. You know,
exactly. Maybe a guitar too, for the heck of it.
I'm sorry, not ESPN, Fox, because he's with Skip.
Oh yeah, he's about it. Yeah.
FS1, that's his thing. So I don't know. There's got to be something that a part of that whole Cash Money family that I want to do a deep dive. I might do a deep dive.
Yeah, we got to do a deep dive on that one, brother. That sounds like a deep dive for a show. Yeah. We you know, see, this is the kind of stuff, y'all. See, this is what's cool about having Derrick on the show with me, y'all, because this is normally y'all don't see me not do this much non-wrestling related talk, but that's kind of what happens, you know. So again, if you're in for wrestling content, I do apologize. We're gonna get to that, y'all. It's just, this is my guy, and it's been a while since me and him have had like true sit down in a podcast format, or a show format. Sorry, we're not a podcast, people. In show format, but it's really cool. Just sitting back with you, man, and just being able to just talk like that, because it's been a minute. But you know, the people want it. We're gonna give it to them. So I'm gonna go into the headlines. But I got one more music topic real quick that I'm very. My girl Lotto, man, look like she's stirring some stuff up, man. Now I don't know. This could just be something creative, like most artists do. But she got a song dropping on Friday, and the visual look real interesting. Her in a room, blurred out on her face, but a lot of other known female MCs over the years, current, past, present, you name it, future, all with these black lines on the face. And I'm like, interesting. Where are we going with this?
Yeah, you know, you do something like that, you gotta come correct. And Lotto's got bars. Like, don't get it twisted. She has bars, but if she's gonna do that, I need something that's gonna be like, I need that ether level type of hit. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. If you're gonna do that, that needs to be a serious punch. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what happens.
Me too, bro. Shout out to Lotto, man, because I've been a fan of her for like a long time, man. Even before a lot of people really started catching on to her and what she's been doing. She's always had these bars, y'all. Don't let the sexual references fool you. That's just to let y'all know. But when that Clay Code come out and she give you the bars on top of that, watch out, man. Like, she a true student of the game, man. And I'm proud of her success, man. Shout out to anybody in Atlanta that remember her from, the rap game, with, JD, or if you remember her just from her doing her thing out here in Atlanta when she was just trying to blow up, and stuff like that. So it's good to see, a female and an Atlanta MC native doing her thing, or Clayco, if you will, since that's not Atlanta. Go figure. That's a conversation for another day. But anyways, here we go, y'all. We're gonna get into this. Yeah. But that does it for this edition of What's Cooking. Like I said, that was all non-wrestling related talk. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into some wrestling. We're gonna get into some discussion a little bit. And I'm just gonna start with the mainstream thing. Now, so look, guys, there won't be a Benny's Block, unfortunately, on today. I'm still working on the name of my segment and what I'm gonna call this thing. So y'all bear with me on that. I'll let y'all know the name next time. It's just me for any reason. But Hi-Lite Real presents topic of discussion. Maybe that sticks. I don't know. But topic of discussion. we here. We here on topic of discussion right now. And it's a lot to talk about, man. And I'm gonna get Derrick's perspective mostly on this, because if you guys don't already follow me with my boy Gresh on Tuesday nights when we go live after NXT and we chop it up about the wrestling week, if you tuned in with us over there, you might have already heard some of my thoughts and opinions. But just for those who only follow me here on Life's a Botch, I'll be sure to give y'all my extra added opinions. But I have to give it from Derrick's perspective because he's a casual watcher, as I mentioned. So hearing this from a hardcore versus a casual perspective, you about to get the best of both worlds here with this conversation. So let's talk about the people's champion, the great one, the one they call The Rock. We can call him The Rock again, y'all, like for real, for real. He owns the name. Finally. Now, I gotta ask you this, Derrick. So I don't know if you managed to see the clips, because the funny thing about all of this and when it happened, by the way, happy, I'm gonna say belated, because they don't know that your birthday passed on the air. But once again, happy belated birthday. I forgot to also mention that at the top of this intro, but happy belated birthday to my guy Derrick. So in live time, when this happened, the night this happened on Friday Night SmackDown last Friday, I was with my boy Gresh. We brought him over, you know what I'm saying? We were at Derrick's crib, and we were, just celebrating him and his another year of life with him and his beautiful lady, who was also celebrating another year of life within the same span. So while we were all there just being family and vibing, Gresh happened to be, kind of at times on social media and seeing what was going on. And he literally made a promise to the Twitter world and said, if The Rock shows up, I'm laughing all the way to Philly. And before you know it, right around the time we get to Derrick's house, next thing you know, if you smell, and then this is like, oh, I remember telling your brother, I remember telling you, I remember telling Julio, who's even a casual fan that doesn't even watch. Everybody's face was just like, wait, what? The Rock? He's there? Yeah. Like now? And I was like, yep, he's there. And next thing you know, so upon our surprise, what was so funny about that night was, as we left from your house, kid you not, we're on the road. So we saw clips, but we didn't see the segment because we were celebrating you. We weren't trying to be too locked in. So we're celebrating you, my brother. But when we got a chance to really go back and watch the clip, we saw what went down and we were like, this is interesting. So to those who don't already know, I'm sure you all know, but I'm gonna get my boy Derrick up to speed for in case he didn't get a chance to see this. But basically, in a nutshell. Oh, you saw it. Okay, so you saw it. Never mind, you saw it. So so then you saw the slick power move that The Rock kind of just on screen pulled, which speculations are saying that supposedly when The Rock announced on First Take that he was a part of the board of directors, apparently part of the deal was that he got to main event WrestleMania with his cousin. And some are even saying, in some of these rumor mills, they're even saying The Rock is campaigning to beat Roman for the title. Mm-hmm. Now, fans are backlashing at all of this, which is so funny because when you look at the first, if you look at the top, when he came out, nothing but a loud pop, like 2 pops. He got the double pop. Yeah. Got the pop for the music, and then the extra pop when he walked out. Mm-hmm. The Rock didn't say a doggone thing. This man looked at Cody Rhodes, shook his hand, shook his hand, looked him in the eyes. Now, people are reading Cody's face. I understand that. Yeah. You're reading Cody's face. But also understand, what people keep skipping over is The Rock did whisper some things to Cody Rhodes. You don't know what he said. I don't know what he said. We don't know what he said. But knowing Dwayne The Rock Johnson, as positive as he is, I guarantee you, how do we not know this man wasn't apologizing to him, saying, hey, man, you are the face of this company. Hey, man, you're the future. Listen, thank you for letting me have this moment. I promise you, Dusty is proud. You are going to finish the story. He could have been saying all of this in the span of that. As Cody then, because it looked like Cody wanted to cry, yeah, but also he kind of smiled and smirked at whatever The Rock had to tell him. So clearly, it was positive information he was putting in him. It wasn't just him saying, hey, little ninja, you know, we gonna the 2 megastars is gonna do this. You up next, but this ain't it right now. So I'm gonna need you to go to, and like he just did nothing like that. But fans are treating this man as if he just came in and quote unquote bullied his way into the main event. Now I get it because of the timing. Royal Rumble, this man not only won the Royal Rumble, he won the Royal Rumble back to back, which is a rare feat because the last time that was done was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he is, one thing I love about wrestling stats, it's just like the NBA and the NFL. There's always certain stats where you're like, man, that's a rare thing. That's rare company. When it comes to Royal Rumbles, this is the list. You're talking about Hulk Hogan, back to back. Shawn Michaels, back to back. Stone Cold Steve Austin, back to back. In darn near 25 plus years, it has not been done until Cody Rhodes just did it. So I can understand some of y'all backlashing because I get it. Cody is trying to finish his story. He wants to win this title that his father never won, held for only a few moments before they took it away from him because he won by disqualification, which means the title didn't change hands, right? Mm-hmm. So with that image of him always thinking, my father was champion. Dad, I didn't know you were WWE champion like Hulk Hogan. No, son, I wasn't. That's just a photo image they called me with the belt. I never won it. That was a disqualification, so I didn't get the title, right? Those things, and Cody wanting to finish the story on his father and his family's behalf. It's going to happen. But I also understand you fans are impatient. It was supposed to happen last year. We didn't get it. We come into a year later. This is the moment. Everybody's thinking, okay, we're finally going to get him to finish this story. We're tired of Roman winning in the same fashion, right? Even though you love the villain. I know Derrick is a fan of the villain, so we'll get to you and your thoughts. I can't wait to open the floor to you. But I'm just giving perspective here for those who didn't get to hear me on Gresh Unleashed. And so what I have a problem with is you fans that want to basically throw stones at The Rock. Keep in mind that y'all have been wanting this match not even 3 years ago. Y'all wanted this 10 years ago. Let's go back to the storytelling of Philly. Shout out to my girl, Haven Rain, who pointed out the fact that the last time Rock and Roman were in the same ring together, like in that kind of fashion, was when Roman Reigns was the cookie cutter babyface Roman Reigns, won the Royal Rumble in 2014, which ironically was in Philadelphia. And they booed the mess out of Roman Reigns to where The Rock came out. They cheered for The Rock. But then when he saved Roman, and he rose up Roman's hands and they, trying to endorse him, they booed the mess out of it completely. So you fast forward to now, where's WrestleMania? It's in Philadelphia. Storytelling, long term, huh? Ironically, Philly's what booed the mess out of y'all when you tried to co-sign babyface Roman. Fast forward to a Roman that's a whole different level of Roman. Now The Rock comes, and it sounds like a hostile takeover. If now we want Cody basically trending all through social media because everybody's either Team Cody or they're Team The Rock, which mostly seems to be Team Cody, right? So now that's the thing. They're trying to recreate this yes movement in a sense. The way that Daniel Bryan did it in 2014 when they kept saying, hey, this and that, right? So they're doing it now with Cody Rhodes, but they don't understand this just makes him more demandable. Okay, but let The Rock and Roman had his moment. Y'all wanted it for so long. You're finally getting it. Sure, the timing is a bit but you're getting it. And you don't even really know officially until tomorrow when they do the doggone press conference, 7 o'clock, which would be like basically 10 o'clock our time, because it's 7 o'clock Pacific time in freaking Las Vegas. So, Derrick, sir, I gotta ask you, man, when you saw what went down, what were your initial thoughts? Did you feel Cody looked a bit silly? Did you think, okay, that's just The Rock being The Rock. I can accept that. Like, how do you feel knowing this?
Honestly, I loved it. I think what with The Rock, because here's the thing, shout out to Kaz. I'm not sure if you guys know who Kaz is. If you're a big wrestling fan, you know he's part of the media that covers on the outside. But he asked, what does Cody have on The Rock? Like what deal did he make with The Rock? Right? And I almost wonder if, because if correct me if I'm wrong, the pay-per-view that his dad won, well, didn't win the championship. That was SummerSlam?
Right. I do believe so. Let me double check that for history purposes, y'all, because I don't want to stir my boy in the wrong direction. But let's see here. The Dusty Rhodes title match. Let's see here. The Dusty Rhodes title match. Let's see. We're gonna look at that real quick while we pull that up. I want you to keep talking in the meantime while I verify that for you.
Because my belief is that Cody will win will complete the story, but I think it'll happen at that pay-per-view to bring it full circle. As when you're thinking about things from a story perspective, as a when you're as from production and writing, you want that the full circle moment if you can get it. To me, that would make a lot of sense for him to win it at that point in time. We've been wanting to see The Rock versus Roman for the longest time. Personally, I love Roman's title reign, right? Like Benny said last week, if people don't really want the title to, want his reign to end, so be it, whatever. But let's go as long as we can go with it, because it's great. It's great television, right? I don't see The Rock beating him, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, you need, in order for the title to make sense on someone, you need someone that's going to be around for a while, right? The Rock is not going to be around after WrestleMania. Like he'll probably be around, but he ain't gonna be around to be a champ. Like around enough to be a champion. So it makes sense for Roman to beat him at WrestleMania, and then lose the title to Cody at SummerSlam. I could see that taking place. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but is Roman undefeated at WrestleMania?
He is. Let me see. I think. Let me see. Let me think about it. Technically, no. Actually, no, because he did lose when he fought Brock Lesnar for the title. I believe that was WrestleMania 31.
Okay.
in San Francisco, where Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank and made it a triple threat, and he pinned Roman to win the title. So technically speaking, from a WrestleMania record standpoint, he's not undefeated, but he has main evented WrestleMania for like the past 4 or 5 years now. I want to say like he's been the main event. And
could you see him going on a run like the Undertaker, like trying maybe matching that record then, if he's not undefeated?
Honestly, probably not, because the only thing about it is, sadly enough, when it comes to that, that's a streak that will never be recreated per se. I know they did it with Edge for a little brief minute, and then they had him clash with Taker, and then obviously that added to Taker's streak. We won't ever really see a record like Undertaker's again at WrestleMania, but what Roman is definitely doing right now, there's only one other wrestler doing it, and his name is Gunther. And even though Gunther hasn't held the title at this point, he just hit 600 days as of this past Monday night. He's been 600 days Intercontinental Champion. And in his own way, in the mid-card world, he's really outgrown the title on the mid-card world. But see, the thing about it is, now he could win that World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins and mirror everything Roman's doing. But one thing about Gunther is he's actually winning his matches in the 600 days as IC champ. Every match he's won, for the most part, has been by himself. He's taken on big guys, little guys, you name it. Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Chad Gable. I mean, the list is Braun Strowman. Like, there's so many guys that were either giants, people bigger than him, just as big as him, smaller than him, and he's just beating them all. But he's beating them all in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing it, every way he wins is just different. It could be a power bomb. It could be a sleeper hold. It can be it could be a lariat, clothesline. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just beats them in different true wrestling pure ways. So the reason I say that with Roman is they're doing something different with him because of the fact that he's chasing something. It would be nice. Wrestling fans, the hardcore fans, are going to grow tired of it. There's no way he's going to beat Bruno Sammartino's overall record, because I believe, statistically speaking, if he was going to beat that record, he would have to have the title for another 4 or 5 years to beat that. Yeah, that record is that crazy, y'all. He would have to hold. You love it. See, and that's crazy because you're a casual watcher, so you wouldn't mind that. But the hardcore fan watching every single week would just be like, oh, still again, right? Now, the only thing that kind of tells me that won't happen, though, is because Roman's leukemia plays a factor in this. And him having that, you can tell, hence why he hasn't been on TV as much. You can tell that it's kind of to a point where the clock's ticking on the Roman Reigns we have. And that's why I'm like, y'all should appreciate it while it's here. It's like the John Cena effect, right? Because the thing about Roman is Roman Reigns don't come often. Now, Cody is definitely showing he's the guy. Like, he is definitely the modern day John Cena that you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the All-American. He's loves everybody. You know what I'm saying? He's always shaking hands with every kid, taking autographs, all kind of things, right? But it seems like with Roman and what he's doing, people are gonna learn to appreciate it more when it ends. Like, in this current moment, you may say, "Oh, it's finally over, thank God." But then what'll happen is, depending on how they book Cody when he wins from the title inevitably, I look at it this way, D. Like, when that happens, and let's say Roman within a year or two decides to retire, right? Since he's already part-time status, let's say he retires, focuses on his family, and let's say that leukemia just somehow he's resting it or finding, because it's still, when you've been in remission, it's still technically there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, now you're going to deal with that. And let's say that causes him to just retire. You're going to miss that man, to where when you hear that epic theme song play, you're going to be like, the crowd's going to explode, because they're going to be like, man, we haven't heard that in so long. Just like John Cena. Think about how many times people used to love chanting John Cena sucks when a song would play. And now, anytime you hear that John Cena theme play, crowd goes crazy. You don't hear John Cena sucks or nothing. It's everybody's on their feet cheering for this man, because they know he's one of the greatest of all time. So I don't.
That still feels weird. That still feels weird to me.
I know, bro.
I'm so sorry. No, I mean, I'm one of those that didn't really. I don't feel that way about John Cena. Like, I don't like seeing him come back. I want him to stay retired, because at this point, it's not the same Cena that we were used to, right?
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that, like, I don't like seeing guys come back after they've been gone for the longest time.
I agree.
If you've been retired for the longest time, like when Shawn Michaels came back, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Triple H tried to do it a couple of times, and it was just like, it's not there. That pop ain't there. Don't do it.
Do it. Are you referring to Shawn when he was bald Shawn, and he tried, he did that after saying he was like, oh
that wasn't it. I'm just like, I'm a proponent for someone that they're gonna come back, be a manager, right? Like, I like that role. So I could see Roman because I agree. I think he's going to retire soon, but I could see it where it's like, okay, I'm relinquishing my title as head of the table and giving it to so and so, right? Or if they battle for it or whatever, right? However it gets passed along. But then coming back and being like, I'm, one of the counselors type thing. Like, you don't have to actively be in the ring, but you can counsel, right? Because he could take that role. I don't think that someone has to retire and not be on TV. Cena could be one of those guys that's just like, I don't really. I think he's got mic skills, but I like, and maybe it's just because I'm partial, Matt. I like villains. So Cena as a face is just like, it's whatever to me. Cena as a villain, oh man, roasting people and everything like that. That was the time. That was when he had the spinner belt and everything, like the U.S. spinner belt. That was a better one, right? Like when he was a villain, I like that part of Cena. Now seeing Cena come back now, and the of course he's not as big as he used to be, so now he actually has armbands and not a headband on his bicep, right? It's like
and the hair,
going back. The hair just, he's got to pull the plugs, bro. Pull the plugs. Go bald. Telling you, it's perfect. We don't need those plugs to be in, bro. Like, because then every time I see him, like, it's just, it ain't it. That ain't it. So like, I'm not excited to see The Rock wrestle. The last time I think we saw The Rock wrestle, didn't he like tear his
he tore his it was actually, I think, his bicep, or not bicep, but I want to say it was his pec. He tore. Yeah, I think
he tore something. So it's like, you get into wrestling. Every time you wrestle now, you're tearing something. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
I can agree that. I'm glad you said that, bro, because I'm actually in the same boat. Like, me and Josh talked about that the other night. We were saying, like, because of how these fans have backlash, we actually want to see the match now, because it's like, like we said, whether it's Cody versus Roman, you're gonna shut up and eat it up. If it's Rock versus Roman, you're gonna shut up and eat it up. If it's Rock versus Cody versus Roman, you're gonna shut up and you're gonna eat it up. So at the end of the day, regardless of where they go directional wise with this, if they pull a 2014 with Daniel Bryan and they find a way to insert him in there and it's a triple threat, fine. That's how you do it. If it's gonna be a maybe the Rock's just an enforcer, right? My mind is thinking, nothing was really official. This could just be the Rock's gonna be an enforcer and Cody's gonna go against Mania. They haven't solidified who Cody's really choosing yet, right? So we're gonna find out come Thursday for sure. But here's the thing, man. When I saw The Rock go against Jinder Mahal, and it wasn't a match, it was more like he did that promo to tease where we're at right now. When he was taking blows, he was still selling pretty good. He's always been a really good seller, right? When it comes to offense, taking offense. But when I saw him giving his typical signature Rock punches, I said, Rock, you look kind of slow doing that, bro. That ain't the same intensity I'm used to seeing when I see it. And then he was winded, bro. He was winded within a matter of seconds against Jinder Mahal. I said, bro, you winded. Like so I'm like, that was not even, that wasn't even about 2 minutes. That whole sequence you did with him was like 2 minutes. So how you gonna go a WrestleMania match with Roman? My God, that you talking about at least a 20-minute match, at least. You sure you're ready for that Rock? But
and that's the thing. Like, I love seeing The Rock come back because he does get that pop, but he needs to be in that role where there needs to be a tribe council. And I'm talking about for this whole faction. There needs to be a tribe council. You have The Rock, Rikishi, and you put Roman Reigns in there when he retires, right?
Yeah.
So and this faction needs to stay heel. You need to they need to stay as a heel faction so that they can talk to the council. The council, like one member of the council comes out every so often or whatever, but you do these spots where like every couple of weeks you see them on screen type thing. Like, I would like to see that. I don't want to see these guys wrestling. It's
I agree.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Rest in peace to like Umaga, Rosie.
Oh,
like
man.
those guys
perfect.
Have been a part of that.
Umaga would have been perfect for the council. And look, think about this. You've got The Rock's daughter coming up. Nia Jax, how long is she going to be wrestling? Couldn't she be a part of the council?
She could be, because she is part of that bloodline. You got Jimmy and Jay. We don't know how long
Jimmy and Jay. They're gonna be around for a little bit. But then you got some other guys that are about to start coming in, right?
Yeah.
You've got to keep the bloodline together.
Shout out to, we got Jacob Fatu. I believe he's if I'm not mistaken, a direct descendant of Umaga, if I'm not mistaken. The family tree is he explains it. Hopefully we get Jacob Fatu on the show in the future, but he explains the bloodline so well as far as how the tree connects. But I do believe he's related. I think he's the son of Umaga, if I'm not mistaken, or either that or the youngest brother. Then they got Zilla, who's also a friend of the pod. We'll have him on soon, and he's the next up. He's learning in the Indies with Jacob, right? So, man, this bloodline, there's so many. We just saw Roman take a picture with one of his cousins that looks darn near like him. So it's like, that's what I said. It's like, hey, man, they're just gonna keep coming. So I agree. This council, and you still have Roman's father, Alpha and Sika, are even still a part of it. They'll a lot of people forget that in 2020, when Roman was in his bag when this was rising and starting, especially with no crowd and you could actually hear the audio.
Yeah.
When Alpha and Sika were out there and they had on like the tribal leaves and things like that, and then they put the lei around Roman, I was like, man, we need more of that. Why haven't we gotten that since? So it's very interesting. I hope they tell this story when The Rock comes in, like, the elders sent me, and which is why I had
they got to show up. they got to show up at
Yeah,
WrestleMania. Like
got to.
I don't want to see this match take place and them not being involved. I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. But to be
Mm-hmm.
completely honest, I think we're almost like at the transition phase of this whole thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
Solo, right? What do you think
Yeah.
Solo is like at the stage of his career right now where Roman was 10 years ago?
Um, yeah, Solo's interesting, and I'll tell you why Solo is interesting. Solo's interesting because this is how you know the bloodline situation is kind of dragging because it's like they're running out of things to do. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, like you said, it should be a thing that doesn't go away. Like the bloodline should never disband,
Yeah.
but he's gotta because he beat like he didn't just beat John Cena, he beat John Cena,
Yes.
like
Yes.
destroyed him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
By now, since that point, Solo should have been on a different atmosphere. Like he should be coming for like the United States Championship type
Mm-hmm.
series. Now, if LA Knight, if this becomes the thing they're gonna do at WrestleMania, if Logan Paul loses that US title to LA Knight, Solo is my pick to be the guy they
Show
build
up.
up to take that title
Mm-hmm.
down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Because Solo needs some serious mid card levels. Because all due respect to Jimmy, man, him tagging with Jimmy, it just don't make sense to me. Like, yes, they are
Yeah.
brothers, but we know Jimmy and Jay, they're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Even though Jay's doing
Yeah.
great on his own right now,
Yeah.
as is Jimmy in his own right, but he's more in a comedic, goofy role. But when Jimmy and Jay are together, they are the Usos, and they're the greatest tag team of all time,
Mm-hmm.
depending on who you ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so for that, Solo at some point either has to dethrone Roman and become the new head of the table,
Mm-hmm.
or he needs to start proving himself because he's the enforcer, and it's like, man, they got
Yeah.
to do some other stuff with him.
Because they've flirted around with that idea a couple of times already of him being the next one
Mm-hmm.
up. So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
makes sense if we're talking about the transition period for them to go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and get ready to gear him up to be the next one. I just
Yeah.
don't think he's one of those guys, and it might be because he doesn't really talk too much. But
Yeah.
does he need a mouthpiece or is he able to talk? Because Roman was
He
in that place too. You see that's where I'm seeing the correlation
the
because
similarities. Yeah.
Roman couldn't talk for a while, and then you
Yeah,
started
he could.
seeing he could talk.
He could
He
talk.
was one of those
Yeah.
guys
No,
that you
you're
were
right.
wondering when he's going to get that next jump, and then he got that
Yeah.
next jump. Solo
He
is
did.
in that lane. Like it's like you want to see him go for it, but it's
Mhm.
almost like he's a mixture of Roman and Umaga. Like you can see
Yeah.
that blend where he has that potential. He has that
Mhm.
that enforcer take, but like you want to see him take that next step.
Yeah.
And he could be one of those guys that's a main eventer, but it's just about the development, I guess. And that's why I want to see the council be a thing because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, as much as I love Paul Heyman, I love Paul Heyman. As much as I love him, does it make sense
Mhm.
for a white man to be telling a Samoan what to do? Like the decisions for him to make within the bloodline? Does that make sense to you?
for for in the story sense for him, yes, only
Yeah,
for
no,
him
I
though,
get that. I
because
get
he
that.
he grew up with that family. Like literally, he worked
Yeah,
with Roman's father for crying out loud. Like, you know what
right.
I'm saying? Like, so his ties with the Anoa'i family is so deep that when he does it,
Mm-hmm.
for him, yes. But if you were gonna
Yes.
put anyone else randomly in there, heck no.
Yeah.
Because it'd be
Yeah.
like, bro, no, you're not it. But to finish that point on Solo, I will say this. I don't know if you got to catch his NXT version, but when, as Gresh put it,
No.
when he said this is the version of Solo he misses, there's a version of Solo that mirrors Taz. John Cena exposed it in a promo when he
Mm.
cut him and was like, "You're like a Taz ripoff." But he would come out with a towel over his head, and he was the street champion. So he'd come out with this towel over his head. He wouldn't talk much because he'd let his action do the talking.
Yeah.
But you would see him talk though. And usually when he would talk, he was letting you know he think of it like Goldberg, like how at first Goldberg didn't talk, but then when he would talk, he'd say just enough where it sound like badass, and you'd be like,
it put the fear of God in you.
Oh, yeah. Solo was doing that when he was the street champion. You know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't do all the antics of looking at his thumb like he's about to spike you. He'd talk.
He'd just go for it.
And then he'd go out there and do that business. Y'all gonna brawl, y'all gonna fight, and chances are he gonna handle business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll see if that version starts to mirror itself as he breaks away from the bloodline. I know he personally didn't want to be a part of the bloodline when they initially called him up from NXT. He wanted to do his own thing and that's why the street champion was so great, because he was putting on banger matches, but he was also saying he wasn't acknowledging his family as much. Like we knew because he looks just like the Usos, just like Rikishi, just like right. So we knew it, but at the same time, he was looking at it as I'm carving my own path. I'm not thinking about my bloodline. But see now, I think Triple H and management was like, look, trust me, this is him being in the bloodline was the best way for everybody to already get familiar with him right off top.
Yeah,
because it's like we know the bloodline. You look like these people, so we're gonna get to know you, and now they know him. So when he really breaks off from this point, man, it's gonna be crazy. Get ready for the eruption. I don't know if it's babyface or heel, but just get ready.
It needs to stay heel, bro. Like honestly, and it's not because of my bias as loving the heel, but the bloodline works as a heel faction.
It does. It does.
I don't want to see it go face. I like that's weird to me. I want you like Evolution. Evolution was a heel faction, right? Can you think of Evolution as a face faction?
No.
Doesn't work.
Not even.
Now DX did it a little bit because they were the heel, and then they switched over to face a little bit because they just got the crowd going type thing or whatever, and then they just played into that. Like I get it. But DX as a faction, as a heel, worked wonders. Right? And that's what I want to see with the bloodline. NWO. I want to see them stay heel because and I forget I don't remember her name, but the Rock's daughter, right? Like if she shows enough promise, like I think it makes sense to add her into the bloodline, because if you're as a bloodline, if you want to dominate all of wrestling, you have to dominate the women's division as well. You cannot ignore the women's division.
I do agree with that, because a lot of people have been wondering. Now you still could possibly get that for this reason. I know it may feel weird to you, but technically speaking, she is a part of the bloodline. Naomi is what people bring up.
That's true too.
Because her being married by marriage, she is a part of the family. She is a Fatu by marriage. So technically, now her and Jimmy haven't crossed paths on screen yet since she returned, but there's a reason for that. Technically, her last match in TNA is this Thursday. So although we did see her on television in a cameo-like sense saying that she did sign a contract, we haven't seen, we might see her this Friday, possibly, but her final TNA showing will be this Thursday. And then after that, she's all WWE. So you can see her in a live TV sense. So the only thing about Naomi is she's such a great babyface because of how much the crowd naturally likes her, that it may be hard. She's been a heel before, and she did pretty good at it. But I don't know how that would work for her. So it might have to be a Nia Jax because she's naturally such a heel. It might, maybe if they, there's some other females out there part of the bloodline on the indies, I believe. I have to do my research on them, but I think if they want to go that route, try that. But it's got to be Naomi or Nia Jax, one would think.
Because what I want to see is the Bloodline to be the most dominant faction ever.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, you have to win all the titles.
Yeah.
You have to win every title. So it would make sense that they have the Bloodline together, right? And you can split it across the shows because you can spread it across both shows and have every member like win a title, right? That would that would be epic storytelling to the point where you don't need Roman Reigns to be the head of the table and wrestling all the time. You literally just have him as the head of the table, like saying, okay, because he doesn't have to even wrestle to be the head of the table. He can literally just command everybody to do X, Y, Z until he is no longer the head of the table, right? And you can extend the story out and it not be flat.
Bro, I love that. That's that mafia style.
Yes.
People talk about
Yes. The
that mafia
exact
mob
same
boss.
thing. You need to be strategic in domination. You cannot be strategic in
Yes.
domination and only dominate one sector. You have to dominate everything.
Yeah.
What's the point of the bloodline if you're not going to be the most dominant of all time?
Oh man. Whoa, that's wild, bro.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I got breaking news. Wow, this is a first. I got breaking news right here on the Life's a Botch show. Ladies and gentlemen, I just found out Scott D'Amore was fired from TNA Wrestling. Oh my goodness, that is crazy news. I don't know what is the cause of this, but I hope this does not damage TNA with this new look image they have. Because Scott D'Amore was doing a great job remolding TNA. They just changed the name back. They said it wasn't going anywhere. I don't know what the case is. I don't know why he's fired. I'll get some more details on that, y'all. A shout out to my boy Ango who reported this. He reported this through his source. So head over to the Ango show. Probably when I get done with this, I will get some more details and we'll discuss it next week. But in the meantime, breaking news: Scott D'Amore fired from TNA Wrestling. That is wild. My goodness, man. You can't. Sheesh, man. What's we shaking some stuff up right now, man. But
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
TNA
Shout out to
TNA's
TNA.
gotta. Do you think they need to be purchased from one of the major companies? Because I
You
don't
know,
see how you can not uh 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 I don't see how you cannot fail at this point. I feel
yeah,
like TNA has just always gotten in their way. And like the
yeah,
only thing that stopped them in the early days from actually competing with WWE was their writing. Their wrestling was amazing.
yeah,
Their writing
yeah.
was horrible. And then they messed up and brought in Hulk Hogan, and that was the end of things. Like that
Ugh,
just
uh,
that made no sense. You stopped the whole
none.
eight-sided ring type thing. And it's like I Josh explained it to me. Shout out to
He
Josh. I
did. Yes.
understand why,
Shout out to John.
but that ring was so iconic to them that it would
Yeah,
make sense for them to bring that back. Make it to where the
yeah.
wrestlers are able to not kill themselves.
Take proper bumps. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you gotta pad it properly, but I mean TNA gets in their way too much to not fail.
Yeah.
So if
It's
you're hiring
wild
if you're
though
firing
because
someone like that's actually doing something that like I don't see how you can succeed. Unless
yeah,
there's
man.
reasons why he got fired. If there's things behind the scenes that we don't know, like what's going on with
Yeah, we're
Vince
gonna.
and Brock.
Yeah, we're gonna get in some detail on that, and I actually am glad you brought that up. I might get your brief opinion on that too, real quickly, before we wrap up. But man, dude, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, this is crazy news to get in a breaking news sense, but I love when breaking news hits live on a show like this, even though it's
Yeah, man.
pre-recorded. Still, this
Yeah.
this is an organic moment. I'll let you guys know come next week. Once I get more details read on what happened exactly. But with your point, I will say this: if someone did do that, I would say WWE, since AEW bought Ring of Honor and they've been managing that. If they wanted to do what AEW is doing with Ring of Honor, where it's like a sub show brand thing, but see, WWE doesn't necessarily need that because TNA or because they have NXT, which is like their technical third brand, so they wouldn't need TNA for anything else. So I know they had bought their rights to like some of their library usage at one point in time a while back. But yeah, man. So I'm sure TNA, they lasted as long as they have. I just hope that with whatever move they're making from this point, whoever is going to take his place, I hope they continue to do a good job, because they literally just changed the name and everything back to TNA, and he was the perfect face to represent them, saying passionately, because he was from the OG TNA. So I don't know who they're going to put in this position. Hopefully it's an original, a TNA original that has that. Maybe this is kayfabe. Who knows? We're going to find out. Y'all stay tuned. But real quick, Derrick, I'm going to talk a little NXT real quick with you, because I know you love the villains. And I ain't gonna lie, man. NXT last night was pretty crazy. Shout out to Vengeance Day. If y'all want to see my opinions on it, since Ash couldn't be here, unfortunately, today, if y'all want to hear my opinions, make sure you go tune in to Gresh Unleashed. Check out the NXT Vengeance Day review post-show that me and Gresh did right after the show. We'll give our full thoughts on that. But I did enjoy Vengeance Day. It was pretty cool for what it was. But at the end of the day, man, you had some fire matches, but Trick Williams, man, I got to give that man his flowers yet again. Trick Williams is next up. Believe you me, not only just in NXT, when he gets to the main roster, that is our face. And I say our face as in culturally, that is our face. That is our guy that is going to represent us the right way. He's got the look, he's got the swag, and now he's got the wrestling ability to match. This man has evolved, and he continues to evolve. And I promise you, you guys will remember the name Trick Williams going forward, okay? And the same thing can be said for this next brother we're going to talk about, because, ladies and gentlemen, after so many countless weeks and months of dragging the storyline of who attacked Trick Williams and Carmelo trying to get justice for his homeboy, his best friend, Trick Will. Justice for Trick. After acting like such a babyface for so long, trying to protect Trick, trying to get justice for Trick. He pulled a Triple H in 2002 on Shawn Michaels. When Shawn Michaels got attacked, and Shawn Michaels was like, "It was you, wasn't it, Hunter? It was you." And he's like, "You're damn right, it was me. And I'd do it again," right? You could tell Shawn Michaels he probably told Melo, he said, hey, I want you to study 2002 when me and Triple H had our feud. And I want you to portray your inner Triple H in that moment when we let you go and you attack Trick. Now, sadly, unfortunately, this did have to happen on Black History Month. Black wrestling Twitter has been heartbroken from Sunday to now. Check on your Black wrestling fans, because I ain't gonna lie, in Black History Month, for a brother to turn on another brother, of all times to do it, you had to do it in Black History Month. I know, Derrick, it sucks.
But that's celebratory, isn't it? Because think about it, right?
Okay. Explain. I do want to hear your explanation on that one.
You get a face and heel telling a great story that are both Black. So it doesn't have to be a negative.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be a negative.
Okay.
It's two Blacks telling a great story, and that's what you want. So why not? Why not do it on Black History Month?
You know, okay, D. See, this is why I love your perspective, my brother. See, this is what I'm talking about. You giving me another perspective from a casual eye. And I'm like, you know what? Never thought about it in that kind of sense. And that's coming from an actual hardcore right there. So that's dope, bro. See, this is why I love your intake, man. This is why we got to bring him back on sometimes, because you just never know what he gonna see from a producer's eye and a villain's eye, you know, because again, you did it right there. But Trick Williams, I'll tell you, I know you're not always a big fan of the baby faces, but the thing about Trick is a different type of baby face. He's not the cookie cutter baby face. This man is everything that, when you just see this man's aura, and it doesn't help that also Booker T also is a part of this man's entrance. He hypes this man up. It was not the same on Vengeance Day. Hopefully Booker T's doing all right. He had a medical procedure. I did see that clip. Yeah, and so Wade Barrett tried his best to do Trick Williams's Booker T impression. It did not go over well at all, because he had that was a bless
his heart moment.
Yeah, exactly. But you need, when Trick come out, man, you need that Booker T. I hope when they call him to the main roster, maybe that means they bring Booker T up to get him back on commentary in the main roster. So just whatever brand Trick's on, you gotta have Booker just to be like, what? Yeah. I like it. Oh yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that just adds to the aura. But Trick Wills is killing the game, man. He's doing his thing. But we are here to talk about his former best friend, his now soon to be enemy, Mr. Carmelo Hayes. Now, just like how you mentioned you like the villain, when done right, I love the villain too. I'm such a natural baby face. I root for my baby faces. But when I see heels, where it's just like, when you were a baby face, it just didn't do it for me. When you're a heel, oh my God, what did I see? This Carmelo? Exactly, bro. It's like, look, when I see this Carmelo, I'm like, bro, I've been waiting on this Melo to come back. So, little backstory: Melo started out as a heel. Him and Trick were both heels. Trick was like his sidekick, basically, as he explained in that promo so beautifully. Trick was, at one point in time, literally just his sidekick. He was kind of the annoying mouthpiece. He'd come out, he had swag, he'd talk on the mic, hype up his boy Trick, he would hype up his boy Carmelo, talk about Carmelo is him, Carmelo's that guy, he was the hype man, literally. But then what happened was the switch flipped. And they had this goal where they were supposed to go after certain titles together. Carmelo wanted to go after the main title. Trick was going to go after the secondary title. But then the hype started coming on Trick because he started improving and getting better and better and better, gaining respect of not only his wrestling peers, but the fans, to where his popularity was getting more and more and more up there. Then they changed this man's music, and you got this epic theme that you have now. Fans caught on. They adopted a chant that came from my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, thank you so much for the originators of Whoop That Trick. But the crowd now chants it every single week, and it gets louder and louder no matter where they are. So I say this to say, Trick evolved from what he started out being. Carmelo, he kind of had to find himself a little bit, man. He lost his title. You know what I'm saying? And when he lost his title, you can't say you're him if you ain't got a championship no more to prove it. Right. Anytime he was always saying, I'm him, he had a championship by his side. But see, now, with Trick being, unfortunately, where Trick is, Melo's the heel. So I have to ask you, Derrick, just in a summary of the story I explained to you, and then seeing that beautiful promo, give me your, as the villain lover, give me your perspective of the production that you saw behind the execution of this man villainously in the all black attire with the chest out. Bao Marion is what they were calling him last night, you know, because he's a mixture. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to unsee it now.
Yeah, you know what? I love so what I saw with him was my twin with cornrows and no beard. He looked just like me. And I'll give it to him. He represents well. He represents us well.
Okay.
I think that's what I would look like as a wrestler. Just so everyone understands
where I'm coming from. I see it. Okay.
Yeah, I think production wise though, it was amazing. Like I love that storytelling because like again, when you're talking about the spotlight, the spotlight that shutting down all the lights and only having that spotlight is reserved for like specific talent, as specific stories. You don't see it often, and that spotlight is something that is kind of telling of like one of the next bigger villains, right? So we saw The Rock do it, we saw Batista do it. It's one of those things that I love seeing. So it shows, it's like from a production standpoint, it shows that this person is on their own. They don't need anybody else. This is them. It's them and only them. You're not going to see anyone else. You're not going to hear from anyone else. So I love seeing those moments. I think it told a great story, just from a visual perspective. But I think his on mic skills are really good. I think he played the crowd very well. Played the crowd very well, especially playing the intro, Tricks intro music, and then just like psych. It's
faking them out.
It's those little psychological warfare moments that you love seeing. So no, I thought from all of that, I think it was very well done. Very well done. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, no, I'm hype about seeing what happens with Melo.
Man,
and that name, you think about Melo, you think about Carmelo Anthony, right? Like I know the younger generation thinks about LaMelo Ball, but we don't acknowledge that.
Of course.
It's Carmelo Anthony. And what did Carmelo do in his career? Like, yeah, he was a team guy, but he was like he's on his own. He's on his own. He's shooting those shots. He was going for the top, right? That was his perspective every time he went out there. So that's perfect. It was like it lines up perfectly, So I like it.
And it's funny you said that because guess his known slogan is "Mellow don't miss."
Right.
Okay. Basically, his
Melo
character
did not miss.
And look,
Melo did not miss that. I hate it when the Celtics played him.
No, for real, bro. Because like, so I remember loving that name too. That's that WWE name because on the Indies he was Christian Casanova. But his in-ring talent, trust me, he does things. When you get a chance to watch some of his matches, the things he can do in ring as well from a high flying standpoint, he's got the best of both worlds. He can give you a technical, he can give you high flying, he can give you grapple, he can give you a little bit of everything, right? And so like think Shelton Benjamin's the best way to describe how he works. Yeah, like he's almost like a Shelton Benjamin type in a sense. Like he can give you a little bit of everything. But one thing about Melo is that when they gave him that name in WWE, he rolled with it. Now, at first, when he first came into his own, if you watch the evolution of that character, shout out to WWE, they have like a timeline thing. So I don't know if they're going to do that with Melo at some point. But if they show you his evolution from when he started and he won that breakout, NXT does this thing every year. I got to introduce you to another superstar in NXT by the name of Oba Femi. Talk about a black Batista if you've ever seen one.
Oh, I've seen him.
In African form. Oh, my goodness. That man's only 25 years old and he's just getting it, bro. If you see the production on his entrance alone, you're like, oh my God, this dude is next up. This man is a rookie, and they gave him a title on his first day. This man won the breakout tournament. And then that man said, oh, you have a title match tonight? I think I'll watch that closely. Match in, music hits, boom, give me that contract, boom, boom, give me that title. And that man came out, cut a promo, said, ever since I was a little boy, it was my destiny to win. And I'm like, man, he means business. Yeah. He is not stopping. So I say that to say with Carmelo, when he won the breakout tournament, which, by the way, just fun fact, 3 black men have won this breakout tournament since NXT started doing it. Unfortunately, one of them is no longer with the company and never did really capitalize because I think it was like a mental situation with him. Unfortunately, I don't even know if he wrestles anymore these days. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But aside from him, Obafemi, Carmelo Hayes, they have blossomed, right? And they have shined, truly. So when Melo came into the game, he was really just a really athletic guy. You saw it like, okay, this man is talented. But when he then branched off and he got Trick, and Trick became his hype man, the head got bigger and the swag got deeper. Before you know it, he would hype up Melo. Melo had the tagline, Melo don't miss, I am him. And it just took off all throughout the last couple of years to where he won championships, and he was just known for winning championships. Hence why he was him. So now, even though he's not a champion, it's like he's back in this bag of reminding himself of who he is while trying to put his own best friend in his place and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm him. You was my backup. Why are you trying to be him? You just trying to be a mirror image of me now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to see you succeed, but not on this level where I'm at. That's my place. You're supposed to be behind me or beside me, not in front of me. So this is going to be a real good, man. Me and Gresh was talking about it last night. We said when Trick music really does hit, and it's not a kayfabe moment of a nah, he ain't faking y'all out this time. This man really finna come out here and whoop on Melo. Like, bruh, that pop is gonna be eccentric. And I cannot wait for these two to, more than likely, the goal is they're gonna probably wrestle at NXT Stand and Deliver, which will be right there on WrestleMania weekend. So they're gonna get the biggest stage. And when these brothers get that light to shine, watch that match, Derrick. I'm telling you now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I definitely will be watching.
Going to steal the show. They are going, man, the emotion you're gonna get in that match. Oh my God. I can't wait for it. But I had to get your opinion on that, man, because Trick and Melo, probably the best story ever in NXT television, to be honest. Now, yeah, it dragged a bit. Not gonna lie, it did drag at times because there were moments where it was like it was obvious. We knew Melo attacked Trick because the way he would act, right? Because it kept the arrow would like be like, "Hey, Trick did it." No, I mean, "Hey, Melo did it," and Melo's like, "No, I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't do you like that, bro." And then they would try to point the finger at somebody else, attack that person, beat up that person. Then they're like, "Oh, I didn't do it, but thanks for the spotlight," or this and that. It just dragged, but I see why it had to drag because they wanted to get it to this point. So that being said, man, that's NXT. I won't go down the entire show. Like I said, I did review it with my boy Gresh last night. This was really just intended to be a discussion-based episode. Shout out to my boy Derrick, man. He is showing y'all, even as a casual, my boy held his own on today, man. Look, we went a little longer than we initially intended, but that's good conversation for you, man. We didn't mean to go this long with it for this specific episode. Again, shout out to my girl Ash, Benny. We miss you, sis. I know you had to handle some business today, But Derek did a good job filling in for you so we can still put the content out there. But y'all make sure y'all follow us on TikTok at Life's a Botch _ OTS. She's got some content coming right on the TikTok for y'all, so make sure you show us some love. Appreciate y'all for just really showing us support, man. Every download, every share, every play. Thank y'all so much, man. Please continue to just share this. We're working on getting this more and more consistent for you guys. Make sure you check out the Independent Spotlight. The Independent Spotlight is a under like a sub show behind this one where we basically just get with independent talents, mostly local here in Atlanta, but also subject to anyone outside of the Atlanta area, where we sit down with an independent wrestler, get to know them, talk about their background, who they are, who their character is, why you should want to watch and this upcoming individual grow and mold into the next big thing. And so yeah, check out the Independent Spotlight. Latest episode was episode 2 with my boy Dion Summers. Summertime, sure. Baby, summertime. Shout out to Trey Shaw the Ripper. He's next up. We got him coming up on next week. But like I said, make sure y'all check out the latest 2 episodes, which features Dion Summers and episode 1 with my boy August Artois. And yeah, man, we're gonna keep them coming. We're gonna keep them coming. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on all social outlets. Life's a Botch _ OTS. Life's a Botch _ OTS. And of course, the platform behind this very platform, hence the _ OTS. Because without OTS, man, Life's a Botch does not exist for y'all, and y'all can't get this good, fun entertainment. So make sure you follow all things OTS Media Co. That is all things OTS Media Co. Now, Sir Derrick, as the face of this brand, in a sense, from behind the scenes and all that good stuff, I know you give everybody different faces, but, as the person behind the brand, I got to ask you, my friend, what's some updates? What's some stuff you are allowed to share with the Life's a Botch audience about OTS and what we got coming up, man?
Allowed to share is that's crazy. Okay. Fans is coming back. And okay, for those that don't really know too much about it, is where we battle. Well, we have discussions, weekly discussions, but then also the battles. The battles almost like versus, except better. And for those that have not seen it before, please go check it out on our YouTube channel. We haven't had a show. We haven't had a battle in maybe 2 years now, but started bringing the show back to where it's an episodic format last year, and then had to put a pause on it so that we can kind of like reformat and figure certain things out. For those that are extremely excited about it, fans will be coming back, I believe, at the beginning of next month. And I guess we can go ahead and announce it. Ashley is the new co-host on the show. Ash
Hey,
so
shout out to
Benny's
Ash
block.
Benny.
Benny's block is extending. She's got some more blocks to cover, So she will be the co-host with Sir Chris. Looking forward to seeing them together. And this is gonna be bigger than anything. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hype it up, man. I'm gonna hype it up. This is gonna be bigger than 106 in Park. This is bigger than Versus. This will be bigger than the Breakfast Club. I'm telling you right now, if you actually want to cover the not only music news, but the culture in general, you want to cover that, you want to have fun with it, you need to be a fan. So fans is here, we're back, and bigger than ever, and I'm excited about that. We have stuff that we can't announce yet. I believe we will be able to announce it very soon. But Dwayne and I are both excited about what's to come. Pause. And it's gonna be a lot of stuff that you're gonna be able to see that will be fun for everybody on every level, independent artists, um, uh, uh, um, content creators. It's just we have something we will be showing you guys pretty soon. I mean, I'm beyond excited to share that news. So, please be on the lookout for that one.
Come on, man. You heard it. You heard it. You heard it. You heard it right here from the direct source, the man, the brain behind all of this operation. So please, 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 again, if you want to hear more about these updates and things like that, man, these announcements, make sure you are following the brand. It is most important. Subscribe to the brand. That's how you find our episodes. Again, to those of you who probably want to see the visual version of the show, make sure you head to OTS Media Co. Okay, on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and then make sure you hit the notification bell. All right, and then every time OTS drops a new episode of any show, Life's a Botch, Sideline Guys, you know, any of the shows out there, Realish, you name it, right? Anytime you hit that notification bell when Fans comes back, when Plugged In is back. Yeah. I thought we forgot about that one, huh? No. When all of those are back, make sure you hit that subscribe and the notification bell so that you know you can catch the nearest video. And please, please, please like, comment, and most certainly share so that more people can get word of this very, very dope, momentous occasion. As always, man, I thank y'all for rocking with us here at Life's a Botch. I appreciate y'all for always just, again, every share, every like, every comment. Thank you for your interactions with us on the socials, your interactions with us, man. We got a lot of dope people coming. We're working on getting some other guests in the future, some collabors, collaborating with some other content creators out there, those willing. But in the meantime, like I said, either way, we're going to keep doing what we do because that's what we do. You know what I mean? Be on the lookout, man. My wrestling freestyles are coming back. Okay. Me and Goresh will be collabing back on the wrestling freestyles. So I'm not going to tell y'all exactly who, but it's Black History Month. So just know we starting off black first. But the wrestling freestyles are making their comeback. And believe you me, I got a lot that I've been studying where I'm like, okay, I want to hop on this, and this. So best believe y'all stay tuned for that. Let's see, what else do I? Oh, shout out to Platinum Championship Wrestling. They don't officially sponsor us as of yet, but trust you me, they will. But Platinum Championship Wrestling, if you guys live in Georgia, specifically if you're in the Covington area and you happen to hear this, we will be in the building. Myself and Derrick will be in the building this Friday night at 8 p.m. Covington, Georgia for Platinum Championship Wrestling, because two of my favorite guys, as we just mentioned on the Independent Spotlight, will be actually performing that night in the ring. Shout out to my boy Trey Shaw, aka Shaw the Ripper, and Beyond Summers. They will be in the building at Platinum Championship Wrestling. Tickets are $8 for adults, $5 for the kids. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's going to be a really incredible event. It's going down, and we're going to get some on-spot interviews. You know what I'm saying? Your boy going to get some on-spot interviews with the talent, maybe even get our feet wet in there with some promoters and see what we can work up on collaborating with OTS and, kind of make some things happen. You feel me? But also, shout out to All Caribbean Wrestling. Your boy's going to post up. It's going to be out in the College Park area. We got All Caribbean Wrestling, Say It Loud, featuring one of my girls that have been on the show, a friend of the podcast, Miss Cassandra Golden. She'll be in the building. Shout out to another guest in front of the pod, my boy, D'Angelo De Niro, a.k.a. The Pope, a.k.a. Elijah Burke. He will be in the building as well. Miss Red Velvet will be in attendance. We got so many people popping up, my guys. So I cannot wait to be in the building to show some love and all that good stuff, man. So again, if you haven't already, man, just make sure you follow. Thank y'all so much for your support. Without y'all, we wouldn't be able to do this. And so that about does it. Like I said, until next week, Ash Benny will be back in the building. But thank you to my brother from another, Mr. Derrick Myers. hopping in and stepping in. Oh, what you got, D?
I don't get my botch of the week.
Oh, you're right. Silly me. You're right. You're right. You know what? Before we close out, that's right. It's botch of the week. Y'all know what time it is. That was a botch. That was a botch. Now, it may not be the botch, but it was a botch on Life's a Botch. So thank you, Derrick, for reminding me of that. That's why you produce, man, my friend. That's exactly why you do it. So without further ado, we'll save that for the time code then. So we already know, we'll put that in time code real quick, insert in time code right here. Botch of the week, ladies and gentlemen. For our botch of the week, I'm going to pass this thing to my guest first, and I'm going to ask you, Derrick, sir, what is your botch of the week?
I'm going to give the botch of the week to all barbers. I'm going to tell you why. Okay.
Come on.
Because there's no way in hell you ever have a client sit in your chair and ask for the Travis Kelce. What the hell why would you allow anybody to sit in your chair and ask for a classic cut like that and call it the Travis Kelce? It's called the fade. We've been getting it for years. Martin Luther King had it, bro. Okay? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? The fade is classic to Black Americans, okay? This is our haircut. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna go get mine next week. So don't do that, man. we
hey,
that is native to us. All right. That ain't Travis Kelce. And you know what? I blame the NFL too. You know why? Because you've been putting Taylor Swift in that suite and giving this coverage to her all year long. And so everybody's been caught up in the whole Taylor Swift thing to the point now where you acted as if Travis Kelce wasn't Travis Kelce before he got with her. All right. Actually, you know why he's got that fade? Because he was with a Black woman. Don't try. Don't try that. All right. That's how he got that haircut. Okay. All right. She introduced him to that haircut, and he's been getting it ever since. All right. So I'm giving the botch of the week to all barbers. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. We don't tolerate that. We don't tolerate that.
Oh man. See, you heard it right there from the source himself, baby. That was beautiful, D. Because I did see that and I said, that's just straight up absurd, bro. Like, why are we doing this to people? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we doing this to them? If I'm gonna be honest on what my botch of the week would be, my friend, not gonna lie to you, this might be a situation where I'm gonna have to go into the gaming world here with mine. I might have to go into the gaming world with it, bro. I'm waiting to see if I accurately call this here, but let me see. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give my botch of the week to quite possibly Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
On paper, sometimes you do things and you say, that sounds like a good idea. That in an arc like this, who wouldn't want to attempt to kill the Justice League? And we like the Suicide Squad. I mean, they've grown in popularity. Let's make a video game. The last movie seemed to be decently enough successful. Let's see if we can make a video game out of this. Yeah, no. That was a little all over the place. Yeah, and from what I've seen, what I'm hearing, it ain't doing too hot right now, people. Not at all. Not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And with that, DC, how can I put this? You're failing in the cinematic universe. You do greatly in the animated universe. But if you can't conquer the gaming universe, we got a problem.
They were, though. That Arkham Knight series, that trilogy, That was fire. Yeah. That was fire.
Yeah.
That Arkham, that especially that last one, that Arkham Knight was
Yeah.
nice.
Oh no, for sure. But
That was nice.
the problem is, bro, it's like since Arkham Knight, it's been failures.
When are we gonna get a Superman game?
That's a good question. I wouldn't mind a Superman game actually. It'd be OP as all get out, but I
Oh, you
wouldn't
had no
mind it.
choice.
That
That needs to be minimum Grand Theft Auto level in terms of open space. Like you need something,
so
but
do you think it would be a situation where you could, dare I say, choose what side of right you want to be on? Because even though Superman's the ultimate Boy Scout, you could put fear into the city and just,
depends. I need an actual open world. Like you need to be able to go
yeah.
the entire globe, right? I think what you need to
Mm-hmm.
do is implement Google Maps type of thing. You can customize the landscape pretty
Okay.
easily based on those models. I mean it's going to take some time, but you can do it. And
Yeah. No.
you make you make an actual open world to where we can actually go outer space too a little bit. You do battles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't mind seeing it. Wouldn't mind seeing it, but they're gonna mess it up, so I don't want to see it. I don't
They
want to see
probably
it.
would, man. It depends on the developer. But I actually like the concept of that. We should get. It has been a while, a real while since we've gotten a Superman game.
It makes sense
You
to
know,
do.
you yeah, D you actually you gave a good aspect right there, my friend. But in the meantime, I have to get that Botch to the Suicide Squad video game just because I mean, like I said, to each his own. If you like it,
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to fully play it, but just off visual of what I've seen from it, kind of like, it looks like too much going on. Like the color, the feel, it just doesn't seem like something you'd ideally want to play. Now, could be wrong. I might take that Botch back next week or the week after or whenever I decide to check it out. Right. But for the most part, based off reviews, it ain't it. It ain't it.
Yeah.
So
I want to give it a try. See what it's like.
see what it's like. Yeah. So
It's not been something that I've heard great things about, but it
mm-hmm.
doesn't scream James Gunn's movie to me, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
we'll reserve judgment on it and we'll see what happens. But I had to just temporarily throw it in my Botch of the week because your boy ran out of ideas in the moment for right now. I mean, I could have went a different route, but I was like, nah, I gave them fans enough attention last night.
Yeah.
So we ain't gonna do them fans trying to send death threats on scripted sports.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, again, we did our outros. The only thing I didn't get to ask was Brother Derrick. Tell the people where they can find and follow your brilliant mind, sir.
Oh man. Well, you can follow me at Derrick_OTS. That's DERRICK, the black way to spell it. Mainly follow the OTS page. I'm mainly on there. So OTS Media Co. All social media platforms. OTS Media on YouTube. Like Dwayne said, hit that like button, that notification bell, and subscribe. We got a lot of great content coming toward you guys, and looking forward to doing more. So please be on the lookout for
it. Sounds like a plan. You heard the man. So all that's left to do is for y'all to just go listen, man. Go listen, go follow. Sorry that we held y'all as long as we did, even though some of y'all that are faithful listeners are probably used to us going about 1 or 2 hours. But like I said, with this intent with my brother, that wasn't the intent for today. But I appreciate him rocking with me on today, stepping in at a moment where I needed him most and said, D, I need you on the show. Can you hop on? He said, I got you, brother. We here. Let's go. So again, man, thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Until next time, y'all already know how we do. I need everybody in the building to stop what you're doing. Take out those two sweet signs, baby. Throw them up real high. Give me one good old too sweet. Peace, baby. Yes, sir. Until next time, as always, we love you, and we'll see y'all next week.